Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video. My name is Travis Rose. I'm the creator of the Master the Market education that you can find linked below in the description. And this is going to be part 6 of the Day Trading Stocks for Beginner series that I'm doing here on my channel. So if you're brand new to the market and you haven't watched the other 5 parts, I do recommend probably starting off with those ones. And those are going to be linked down below in the description as well. So anyway, in the past videos of this series, we covered some of the basics of technical analysis, fundamental analysis. We talked about the differences between day trading and swing trading. We talked about the different types of orders that you can place. We talked about how you can profit from stocks going both up and down from regular buy and sell orders, as well as short selling and covering. And in this one, we're going to kind of take a step back and actually talk about how we can find the best stocks to trade, which in my opinion is really half the battle of trading. You can be a very disciplined trader and you can be using a very successful and accurate trading strategy. But if you're trading the wrong stocks in the first place, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure. So, in this one, we're going to talk about again finding the best stocks to trade. And you have to keep in mind that every trader has their own preferences and their own skill set. So, even if you're using the same strategy as somebody else, you may have different preferences and you may want to adjust some of the things that I talk about within this video to fit your personal trading preferences. And the way that we're going to find the best stocks to trade is by using what are known as scanners and screeners. So, really, what these are tools used by traders and investors to filter the market for stocks meeting their selected criteria. And there's really just a slight difference between scanners and screeners. Scanners update in real time, while screeners need to be manually updated. So in this video, we're going to go over both of these. We're going to talk about the screener on finviz.com, which I've talked about in past videos. And then I'm going to go over to the Thinkorswim platform, as well as probably the Interactive Brokers platform. And I'm just going to show you some very basic scanning options and show you some scanners that I use on a daily basis. And with that being said, many brokerages like Interactive Brokers and TD Ameritrade with their Thinkorswim platform are going to have free built-in scanning software. However, if your broker doesn't offer free scanning software and you don't want to open an account with a different broker, you can always look into other paid options such as Trade Ideas and Equity Feed, or you can, of course, just stick to finviz.com. And that's actually what we're going to talk about right now. So if we go over to finviz.com first and foremost, we're going to put in some of the common scanning and screening criteria and see what the market is narrowed down to. Okay, so once you're on finviz.com, what you want to do is go up here to the screener, and then you're going to want to go down here and click on all. And what this does is gives you all the different options that you can select to narrow the market down further and further. So if you just had this on fundamental, it would just let you screen the market for things that are based on fundamental analysis. And if you just had it on technical, that would of course let you look for things based on technical analysis. But we're going to be looking for things that fall into both of those categories. So we want to make sure that we have all selected. Now, the first thing that many people use when they're doing their screening or scanning is by selecting the price of the stock. Everybody has their own preferences when it comes to price range. I personally like to focus on stocks in the $1 to $5 range. That's just kind of my sweet spot. And if you're new to trading, you might not necessarily know what your sweet spot in the market is yet. But again, you probably already do have some kind of idea of what your preference is when it comes to trading stocks. So, what I'm going to do over here is select price, and I'm going to go ahead and just select price under $5. So right off the bat, we're going to narrow the market down from 7,655 stocks all the way down to 1,404 stocks. The next thing that we want to do is go ahead and select volume. And of course, this is just the number of shares that were traded for this specific day. And when I'm selecting the current volume or just the volume of a stock, I like to make sure that there is enough liquidity and enough volume so that I would be able to easily get in and out of the trade without having to worry so much about if there's enough sellers or buyers on the other side to buy or sell my shares. So to do that, I'm going to make sure that I have over 200,000 selected for the current volume. And you can see we narrowed the market down even further to just 656 stocks now. Then we're going to want to select average volume, and this is going to be the total number of shares traded on average over the past 30 days. And again, I'm going to go ahead and select over 200,000 just to show that on a regular basis, the stock that we're looking for is trading over 200,000 shares, giving us enough volume to easily get in and out of our trades. The next thing is going to be relative volume, and this is just going to compare the current volume to the average volume. And a relative volume of 2 simply means that the current volume is 2 times what it typically is for that time of day. And if we're looking for stocks that are already making large moves and that have great day trade opportunities, for the most part, you're going to want to see a high relative volume. So I'm going to go down to relative volume and just select over 2. And that tells us that the stock is currently trading 2 times what it typically does at this time of day. So now you can see with just these very basic screening criteria, we narrowed the market all the way down to just 61 stocks. So from here, you can just scroll through, and if you hover over the price, you'll actually get a quick chart of the stock, and that's going to help you quickly narrow the market down even further. And obviously, you can make some adjustments to these and add in even more screening criteria to get a smaller and smaller list and to find stocks that are meeting the exact criteria that you're looking for when it comes to your own personal trading. All right, so now we're over in the Thinkorswim platform with TD Ameritrade. And the first thing you want to do when you get to the platform is go ahead up here to scan and then select Stock Hacker. And this is going to allow us to scan the market for stocks meeting any of our specific criteria. Now, if you have any scans that you want to pull up that you've previously made, or if you want to look at the pre-made scans that Thinkorswim has built into the platform, all you have to do is click on this icon over here, then select Load Scan Query, and you can have your personal scans pulled up here, the public ones that are pre-made here, and then some top 10 commonly used scans that they already have pre-made as well. So for this one, I'm going to show you a personal one that I already made in the past, and this is going to help you find quote-unquote low float stocks in the market. Now, I recently wrote a blog post about low floats and stocks with a low number of outstanding shares, and I talk about how they affect my trading and why most of the biggest runners in the market are typically low float stocks. So if you haven't read that already and you don't know about low floats and what they are, you may want to go ahead and read that, and I'll have that link down below in the description as well. But for this scan, really what it's made up of first is a last price, and this is simply the last price that the stock traded at, and this is going to allow you to narrow the market down to a price range. So for this, I have between $1 and $20 per share. Then the next criteria I have is volume, and a minimum of 100,000 shares. Third, we have the total number of shares outstanding, and this is going to allow us to find stocks with no more than 20 million shares outstanding. And again, if you don't know the importance of that, you may want to read that blog post. But just to kind of summarize it, a low number of outstanding shares, or in other words, a low float, can really be thought of as the supply for the stock. And if there's a large amount of volume for that stock, the volume can then be thought of as the demand. And if there's high demand and low supply, that's going to often cause a lot of volatility. And these are generally the stocks that have the largest potential for having big spikes and big runs in the market. Okay, and the next thing that we look for is unusual volume. And we have the current bar's volume being at least 50% greater than it is from a typical period over the past 30 periods. And when I go ahead and click scan, it's going to pull up all the stocks meeting that criteria. And you can see all of these down below. There's currently 50 results for this criteria. And now all of these can be potential trade opportunities for me in the near future because I know that all of them have strong relative volume, at least 50% greater than it is on a typical day. All of them have enough volume because there's a minimum of 100,000 shares. They all fall into my preferred price range of $1 to $20, and they all have less than 20 million shares outstanding, telling me that there is a low supply of these stocks, and because of that, they have potential for a big run or a big spike once the momentum in these stocks starts to pick up. Okay, and that's just one of the very basic scans that I use on pretty much a daily basis. Obviously, there are countless different ways that you can adjust these and make your own scans and search the market for your preferred type of stocks. But I really just wanted to kind of cover the basics here in this video so you know how to at least operate the scan tool with Thinkorswim. And from there, hopefully you'll play around with it a bit and make some adjustments until you find some good scanning settings for your personal trading style and whatever strategy that you may be using. Alright, so now we're over in the Trader Workstation with Interactive Brokers, and I just want to show you real quickly one more scanner that I use on a daily basis. And actually, this is primarily how I find most of my personal trades, because I like to trade stocks that are making big moves, whether it be to the upside or to the downside, because these are stocks that have recent news released. They have a lot of eyes on them, so there's a lot of volume and a larger amount of volatility that they see on a regular basis. And basically, for my trading style, that's really all I need to find some great trade opportunities in the market. So this is going to be the largest percent gainers and the largest percent losers. Now keep in mind, like I mentioned, I am in the Interactive Brokers platform now, but just like the other scans that we talked about with Thinkorswim and on FinViz, this scan can be pulled up and used with any other scanning software that you use. It of course does not have to be here in Interactive Brokers, but I just wanted to use different platforms because I know that obviously everybody doesn't just use Thinkorswim. So I just wanted to kind of show the basics of how to operate the scanning tools that are built into multiple trading platforms. But anyway, if you're new to Interactive Brokers, the way that you would pull up this scanner is by going to New Window, Scanners, and this is the Mosaic Market Scanner. So once it's pulled up, you're going to want to go ahead and go to Edit Scanner. If you click on Universe, this is going to allow you to narrow the market down. So in this case, we're just looking for stocks rather than ETFs or futures. I'm looking for stocks in the United States, and these are the exchanges that I have selected for my personal trading. So then if you go down here to Fields and Filters, the first piece of criteria that I have in here is the last price, followed by the shares outstanding, followed by the percentage change. And then I have whether or not the stock is shortable because I personally short sell a lot of stocks. And then last but not least, I have volume, and I make sure that the volume is at least 50,000 shares. After that, you hit done, and you can go ahead and click on percent change here on the top. And when you do that, it's going to arrange them from percent change gainers to percent change losers. So right now, on the right side here, we have the largest losers based on their percentage at the top. And if we click on it again, it's going to arrange it the other way around with the percent change gainers here on the right side and the percent change losers here on the left side. So now we can see the stock symbol, we can see the last price that it traded at, the total number of shares outstanding, how much the stock is up or down for the day based on their percentage. You can see whether or not the stock is currently shortable and how many shares are currently available to short sell. And then you can see the current volume for the day. So basically, by putting all of this information into your scanner, it's going to save you a lot of time because you're not going to have to look up, for example, the total number of shares outstanding for the stock. Since it's right there next to it, you're not going to have to pull up a separate window to see whether or not the stock is shortable. All you have to do is see if it meets your criteria here on the scanner, and then pull up a chart and maybe do some technical and fundamental analysis and try to find some entries and exits for your future trades. So anyway, that's going to be a wrap for this video and for part 6 of this series. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope that you're able to find the best stocks for your personal trading after watching this video. If you enjoyed, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on part 7 of the Day Trading Stocks for Beginners series. And as always, if you want to learn step by step how to day trade, swing trade, or even long-term invest, and even access our trading chat room with over 1,000 daily active traders, all of that and more can be found down below in the description on my website, Master the Market. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in part 7, and good luck with your trading.